Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing on Primer Iced Tea's podcast slash monthly journaling. Okay, so for those that, you know, don't know me, um, in my internet persona, I would say, hi, my name is Primer Iced Tea. You can either call me Primer or you can call me Iced Tea. So yes, now is 31st of July 2023, 11:37 p.m. Yes, 11:37 p.m. So I'm not actually sure on how do people do podcasts or journaling usually. So if the format is a bit weird for you guys, my apologies. I'm just thinking, like, I'm just doing with what the internet has recommended me on how journaling should be. All right, so I think okay, so let me just explain what is happening right now. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I would like to record my life, my monthly life, my life from now or probably until next year, I would say. Let's see how this thing goes. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to record my journey as myself throughout my life, and and by doing this monthly journal thing is, I would say, is an interesting thing to do. And I am dedicating once a month of my life to do a summary of what happened in the month that I'm doing this podcast slash journaling. You know what? I'm just gonna call it a podcast. Okay. So now is the month of July. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So now is the month of July. So I think a great way to start this journal is to, say what happened this month, or what are the interesting things I learned this month. Okay, so I think out of the whole month of July, one thing I learned is that so basically what happens is that I was driving around, doing a night drive around my area, around my housing area. Now that my housing area is quite, I would say, it's quite busy, and there are a lot of housing areas, but at the same time as well, basically there's this place that I'm living nearby. I'm not sure if I want to dox myself on this part, but let's just call it Sunway. All right, okay, Sunway. Right, I was driving to Sunway, just for a night drive, because I felt bored, and driving is one of my favorite hobbies, and that night, on a Friday night, I was driving. I finished my dinner, and I was driving to Sunway, and driving near Sunway always amazed me, because for Malaysians, Sunway is quite, I would say, a very expensive area to live in. Okay, majority people that live there, they have a lot of money. They are very rich. Easy said, they're very rich. Okay, they are very rich, and you can see like a very big shopping mall, which is Sunway Pyramid, one of the biggest shopping mall in Malaysia. And then you have BRT stations, you have hotel, Sunway Hotel, which is like super expensive, and the roads there are made out of bricks, which I have no idea why does Sunway decide, we're gonna build our roads out of bricks. My assumption of why they build roads out of bricks is because, rich people, they drive Mercedes, they drive BMWs, they drive Rolls Royce or Bentleys, and for them, they won't feel a thing on the bums. But here's the catch: I'm not rich. I drive a very old Toyota, a 90s Toyota, and whenever I go through that brick road, I really feel really annoyed by it, because my car would be hop around left and right just because of that damn brick road. But that's not like the main topic that I want to talk about today. The main topic that I want to talk about today is that as I was driving through Sunway, I actually passed through this university. It's called Sunway University. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if like everyone agrees, every Malaysian agrees to this, but in my opinion, I felt that in my opinion, is that Sunway University is a very prestigious university. It's only for the rich, and you go there because you got money, and you get to learn maybe new things. I would say, you get recognized. Because my assumption during the time was, my assumption is that whoever studies in Sunway University, they are really either very smart people or very rich people, or they could be both. It's up to that person. All right. And let me tell you, it is not cheap to admit yourself into Sunway University. Like, it will cost me a house, a house in Malaysia, to afford tuition in Sunway University. Okay, so I was driving through. I was passing by Sunway University, and one thing that I noticed is that I had this thought of, what if my life, let me rephrase the question. Would my life be different if I study in this university instead? Because I'll give you guys a very brief background. I studied in local Malaysian universities, and in Malaysia, we always have this stigma of, local university. People go to local universities because they cannot afford, quality education, and it's just, you just can't afford high prestigious universities. So that's why you go to local universities. And yeah, I studied in local universities for my diploma and degree. Okay. And I always felt that, whoever studies in, universities with English names, like Sunway Universities, University of Nottingham, INTI, or Taylor's. Oh my gosh, Taylor's University. Whenever I hear those names, my mind immediately goes to those people that, very rich, very smart, always speaking in a British accent. Would you like some cup of tea? Yeah, that kind of British accent. Because, that a lot of, because majority of the people that I meet or work with, whenever they say, oh, I study in, Sunway University, University of Nottingham, Taylor's University, a lot of them, majority from my view, they speak in, a British accent, because apparently, a friend of mine said that, if you were to speak in a British accent, people will respect you more, or people will think that you're smart. Okay. But anyways, as I was passing by Sunway University, and I was like looking through, they have this very big, big football field, very tall building, people driving there. The cars that are parked there, by the students are like quite expensive cars, like BMWs, Mercedes, Bentleys, even Ferraris. They are Ferraris, man. They are Ferraris. Okay, and that got me thinking. Will my life be different if I studied in a in a prestigious university like Sunway? Yeah, and as I was thinking about that question, right, a scenario played in my mind. A scenario played in my mind, like it's just like another whole episode in my mind. I kind of imagined myself, what if, like during my diploma years, after I finished my SPM, I studied in Sunway University instead. Will my life be different? What is the outcome of my life if I study in that university? So yeah, I had that revelation. I had that imagination. Okay, and my mind immediately goes to like, oh, if I like I imagine myself, I was studying in Sunway University, you know, meeting a lot of rich people, people that speak good English, like British English, waving their iPhones, their Gucci bags, their expensive shoes and cars, and what else? You know, will I meet more high class people? Yeah, high class people. Will I meet more well defined people, etc., etc. Okay, I don't know where this is going with, but yeah, pardon me if I don't follow, like, you know, this thing is a bit messy. Okay, so yeah, as I was thinking about that, I had thoughts like, oh, you know, how would my life be? So I was thinking like, wow, if I study in some university, you know, maybe I will get a better job. Maybe people respect me more, or you know, yeah, actually those two. Yeah, people respect me more. I get a better job, or maybe, you know, I will learn something new, like really out of the like local university can offer. Okay, and I was thinking as well, like, maybe, you know, maybe my life would be awesome if I actually, you know, study in a prestigious university like Sunway. Okay, and as I was thinking, right, as I was imagining the situation, you know, another thought came to mind. I'm thinking only the good thoughts, but what are like the side effects of it? You know, me being rich, studying in Sunny University, you know, my family being rich, studying university. What would be the side effects of it? Because I'm only thinking of the good things, but what are the possible side effects? And yeah, I give it a thought, and you know, a part of me felt like, you know, if my family were to be rich during the time, you know, maybe my parents would be the ones, you know, they'd be very busy working, they won't be able to spend time with us, and you know, and you know, maybe all of my siblings would be like spoiled brats, buying things here left and right, and you know, maybe I'll be different as well. Because one thing about me is that I like old cars. I like secondhand cars. Because for me, I don't like to spend, like, you know, a lot of money on new cars. I'm a very big advocate for secondhand cars. Okay, and then I immediately thought like, oh, okay, maybe when I'm rich, I won't like driving old Toyotas or driving old Hondas. I would be more, you know, maybe in that universe, maybe in that parallel universe, I'm the primer iced tea that loves to drive Mercedes or Beamers and Ferraris, or maybe, you know, I will complain a lot if the car breaks down a lot, etc. Reliability stuffs. Yeah, and they gave me a kick, you know. When I thought about the side effects of it, they gave me a kick. Like, am I happy with my life now? Am I satisfied with what I have now? Am I, you know, regretting myself for, you know, not admitting myself into a prestigious university, etc., or being rich? And I gave it a thought. And you know what? I'm happy as it is. I may not be like fully duper super duper happy, but I'm happy with where I am now. Because maybe in that parallel universe, maybe I'm a jerk for being rich. Maybe I'm a bully. Maybe I don't like to donate stuffs. Maybe I don't like helping people out. Maybe I just maybe I'm a big spender. I spend money on things that I don't need. I'm a roller basically, and that's something I don't like to be. I don't like to be a person that spends a lot of money on things that I would not use. I'm a very practical person, and yeah, I'm happy with what I am now. I'm happy with the Toyota that I'm driving now, even though sometimes it's broken, but I'm happy as it is because I get to drive to work with it. I get to, go places with it. I enjoy the car that I'm driving with now, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I am now. I mean, it may not be perfect. I may not be able to afford expensive foods. I may not be able to afford expensive PC parts. I may not be able to afford, a lot of car parts for my car, but I'm happy as it is because there's a lot of other factors. Another factor is friends. I'm happy with the current friends that I have, and and the life that I have now. The experiences that I go through, and life experiences, and etc. But yeah, I think like the lesson that I learned, is that it's great to have, it's great to think about the what ifs. It's great to think. And sometimes you can have fun with it. You can imagine yourself, what if, you were given this opportunity, to be in a better situation. But I think you can imagine it, but do not dwell on it. Do not use that imagination to make yourself feel really bad, because there's no use. What's the use of it? I mean, it is a what if, and there's no point in dwelling in it. I mean, if you want to change for the better, go for it. Yeah, sure. But I would say I'm happy with the cards that I'm dealt with now. I would say you just use whatever you have now to make your life a bit better, instead of saying, "Oh, what if I'm rich? What if etc. etc." You can imagine, but do not dwell on it, because it's just gonna make you a bit more miserable. Yeah. So I think that's one of the lessons learned. I hope that story, kind of interest. Okay, I hope I hope that I tell that story well, because this is the first time I do this kind of thing. It will get better in the future. I'm sure it'll get better in the future. I think also, yeah. So that's one of the lessons that I learned. Okay, which is you can imagine the what ifs in your life, but do not dwell on it. It's good to have some imagination sometimes. Okay, so that's one thing I learned in the month of July 2023. What's the other one? I learned. Oh yeah, I have another one. Okay, so what? Oh my gosh, why is my Discord exploding? Shut up! Okay, yes, please, shush. Okay, thank you. Okay, so where was that? Okay, so another thing that I learned this month is Ikigai. Wow, Ikigai is such an amazing thing. Cause let me tell you guys this story, okay? So I've had issues with my life for the past few months. I think it started from May. Okay, so I had a very rough patch since May until now. Okay, where I'm always doubting myself. What am I actually contributing to the world? What am I actually doing with my life? Am I happy with my life? Am I really utilizing the skills that I have in my life? Am I doing a work that I really like, etc. and etc. Basically, I was quite lost. I was lost. I can't talk. I'm unable to socialize. I'm afraid to go to work. I'm afraid to talk to my colleagues. I had nightmares. I had anxiety attack. I had panic attack. Just with the buzz of a phone, I immediately get a panic attack. Okay, my heart rate goes up like crazy. And after all this, after months of torture or suffering, I decided that what, I never took a long week off from work, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a week off from work. Okay, so I did. So I made a decision to take a week off from work, and I made it a mission to discover myself during that 1 week break. Okay, so I did a lot of things. I tried to journalize things. So I tried to write. It worked for 2 days, and then it went kaput after that, because writing is not my forte. Because I realized that speaking is my forte. With the current job that I'm working at, my speaking skills are not used a lot, and I feel a bit suppressed. I feel like I know I can talk, I know I can speak to people, but I don't want to lose this job, because I would like to live, at a very stable career. I would like to continue earning money, because I need money to live. I need money for my food. I need money for my car. I need money for myself. Okay, and I realized that by suppressing my skills and doing things that I don't like, it actually kills me. It kills me a lot. Okay, and so during that week off, I tried to to discover myself. What is me? What can I do? What do I want to do in life? How can I be happy? Because I would like to make that decision myself. I would like to be happy. Okay. And one day, my mother, she sent me a message. She sent me a WhatsApp message, because she knows I'm taking a one week break. She knows that I'm suffering from these mental issues stuff, and she sent me this video. She sent me a video about Ikigai. It's a TikTok from Ikigai, about Ikigai. No, so sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's a Facebook video about a guy explaining about Ikigai. Okay. And if I'm correct, his I don't remember his name, but his YouTube channel is called The Future. You guys can search it on YouTube about him presenting Ikigai. It's actually quite good. It's actually quite well. So if you have time, do look for it. So speaking about all this, so basically what she did was she sent me this she sent me this WhatsApp message containing a Facebook post about this guy talking about Ikigai. And she thought it might help me out, because okay, so let me explain. So what is Ikigai? Okay, so in that video, he is basically explaining what is Ikigai. So Ikigai, from my understanding, if I still remember it correctly, okay, Ikigai is basically you finding your purpose in life. The balance of 4 pillars in that purpose. Okay, so if I remember correctly, it's what do you like to do? What do you like to do? What can you do? What are you let me just rephrase that. First, what are you passionate about? Okay. 2, what are you good at? What are your skill sets? Number 3 is what can you get paid for? Okay. And number 4 is what the world needs. Okay, so basically what you do is you take a piece of A4 paper, okay, and you draw 4 quadrants. You draw lines to make 4 quadrants, and you write the topics that I said just now, which is what are you passionate at, what are you passionate at, what are you good at, what can you get paid for, and what does the world need. So I did that. Okay, so I did that. I wrote everything that I know about myself. I am trying to be very honest about myself. So I wrote everything, wholeheartedly onto that piece of paper. Okay. Now the thing is, you have to find something in common in all those 4 sectors, 4 quadrants. Okay. So once you found the common topic in those 4 quadrants, that is your Ikigai. Okay, that is your Ikigai, so-called Ikigai. Okay, it took me half an hour to do that. If you guys have the time, I would highly recommend it. Okay, so the funny thing is, so what is in my Ikigai? Okay, so if I remember correctly, it was speaking, it was public speaking, it was presentation, it was content creation, it's cooking, and driving. Okay. All right. So those are my Ikigais. Those are the things that will make me happy. That is my purpose in life. And I was actually quite satisfied with it. I finally knew, like, oh, these are the things that I'm good at. This is my Ikigai. But then I came into a roadblock, which is, now what do I do with it? I found my Ikigai, which is cooking, public speaking, presentation, and cooking and driving. So what do I do with it now? How do I reach? I know my Ikigai right now. Now what can I do to reach that Ikigai? And I was lost again. Okay, I was lost for a while, but a part of me felt relieved because I know what is my Ikigai now. I know what will make me happy. The next question that I need to ask myself is, how do I want to get there? Okay. So I asked a friend, I asked a colleague of mine, my manager actually, at my workplace. She's a very helpful manager. She is my manager, but at the same time, she is my coachee. She's my coach as well. Not coach in terms of sports, but coach in terms of life. Okay. So since she has experience in coaching about Ikigai, I was asking her help. I did my Ikigai. What can I do next? What do I need to do next to reach full happiness in my life? Okay. So she helped me out. So what we do is that we listed out the Ikigais that I have noticed about myself, and now what she's trying to help me out is, okay, what is the realistic Ikigai and what is the unrealistic Ikigai? Okay, so like what can help me out currently and what can I do in the future, etc. Okay, and she helped me out in prioritizing stuff. So after like an hour of discussion and guidance, I understand more of what do I want to do in my life. So a few things. So basically, I'm not gonna say. I think explaining about my particular Ikigai will be a bit too long. So I'm just gonna go with so a few career options that I have using my Ikigai. Okay, so one of them is to become a salesperson. This is because being sales in Malaysia, it's easy to get jobs as a salesperson here in Malaysia, and yeah, you can get stable income from it. It may not be like the happiest thing that to be done, but it is something that you can do that you liked a bit, but you can get money as well. Okay, so it's a realistic Ikigai, and yeah, that's my number one. My number two was being a content creator. So I have been, I wouldn't say like I have constantly creating content, but my first content was as a Gundam YouTube channel. I made this kind of YouTube channel years ago when I was in diploma. I was in my diploma, so that was like 10 years ago. So always had a knack for content creation. The thing is, I would say that I have no experience in it, but I have a knack for it. I like it. I like it whenever people appreciate my content, and hence why I'm really happy if people actually commented on my content or reacted to it, or just giving a reaction about it. It makes me happy. Yeah. So second Ikigai was content creation. Now, the thing about content creation is, yes, it makes me more happy than being a salesperson, but it doesn't generate money easily as a salesperson. Yes, I mean, I can try to make money out of content creation, but it's not gonna be easy. So hence why I put it second. Yeah. Third was being a e-hailing driver, or basically a ride-sharing driver. Yeah. So in Malaysia we have Grab. So basically, Grab is one of those platforms where you can use to become an e-hailing or a ride-sharing driver. Yeah, and I thought about it. Yeah, I mean, I like driving. I really like driving, and I don't mind talking to the passengers. I don't mind getting stuck in traffic jam as long as I have radio and a good air conditioning in the car. Then I'll be fine. But the issue is that in Malaysia, to become an e-hailing driver, one is that you have to get a specific license for it, which is called the PSV license. Public service vehicle license, I think that's what it's called, or I think that's what it's called. But basically, that license entitles you to become a ride-sharing driver. Now, the thing about that is that I need to spend time into with the classes to get the license, and at the same time as well, I need to spend money to get the license. So that's one, which is actually considerably cheap, which is okay for me. But here's the kicker. I need a car for my ride-sharing career if I need to. So in Malaysia, you cannot just simply take a car and turn it into a ride-sharing vehicle. Okay, if I remember correctly, for you to become a ride-sharing driver using Grab, which is like the only ride-sharing platform here in Malaysia, your vehicle must not be more than 10 years old. Okay, my car is 30. My car is really damn old. And yes, that means that if I were to become a ride-sharing driver, I need to buy a new car, which I do not like. Like I said earlier in the podcast, is that I'm an advocate for second-hand cars. I do not like to buy new cars. Okay, that means I have to take a loan out to buy even the cheapest car. The cheapest car available for that would cost me money, and if I can, I do not want to be stuck into a loan. All right, so hence why that's third, because the amount of money and time that I need to spend to become a driver. Also at the same time as well, there's no career progression in becoming a ride-sharing driver. So I wouldn't say that it's good for career progression, but if you do it as a side hustle, yeah, it's totally okay. You just need to spend money and time with it. That's pretty much it. Hence why I put it as third. Because I can drive, it's just that I need money, and money is something that I don't have. So that's why I put it third. Yeah, and fourth and fifth is pretty much very unrealistic. It's in a way it is kind of realistic, but it is a bit hard to achieve. Which is, if I'm okay, what, I'm just gonna say it. My fourth Ikigai was to become a race car driver. A race car driver. I always wanted to become a race car driver. It's just that, in Malaysia, becoming a race car driver is, one, very expensive. Two, there's no direct way or path to become a racing driver. And three, race cars are not really a racing car driver career. It's not exactly a very popular thing here in Malaysia. Okay, but I like race cars. I do. I blame Initial D for that. I don't blame Initial D for that. Initial D actually made me the person that I am today. And I always wanted to feel the thrill of driving fast in a safe, controlled environment. Okay, driving fast, overtaking people and stuff. While listening to the roaring of the engine. But that is simply a bit too unrealistic and a bit too expensive. So I can become a race car driver, but not as a full career. I would say it's more of a hobby. Yeah, a race car driver as a hobby sounds great. Yes. So hence now, thanks to my coach's help, my coach with a prophecy as help. Now I know what to do. In a way, I know what to do, with my Ikigai. What do I want to do in my life? And hence, I've started my journey of job searching. Looking left and right for a sales job that I think I can do. Looking left and right, applying here left and right. A lot of them are not replying or non-responsive. After a few days or a week or so, I felt, oh man, I'm not gonna get a new job, aren't I? Boy. But luckily, an employer found my resume and, asked me, hey, if would you be able to come by, to our office so we can do some interview with you? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll be more than happy to. And so it is a sales, yes, good news, it is a sales job interview. Now, the thing about sales job interview I noticed lately is that they will always have this session in the interview where you have to pitch something to them. And in this case, I have to pitch the company to them. So came by interview day, and I went for an interview with them, and honestly, I was super nervous because I was worried because sales is not a thing that I actually like to do. I'm actually traumatized by sales, in my previous job, and hence why I don't like sales. Because another thing about sales that I really don't like is the quota kind of thing, because I'm always worried that what if I cannot reach that quota, will I get fired for it, etc. So it does give me a bit of a worry about that. Okay, so before the interview, I was very nervous. I was really nervous. I was saying I did sales before and I did really well, but what if it's during that time? What if I can't do it now? And after speaking about that, right? After speaking to myself like that in front of the mirror, I immediately have this thought of, you know what? Every job has their own challenges. The question now is, do you want to face that challenge or do you want to run away from it? As I talk to myself on the mirror. And I told myself, you know what? I'm going to go for it anyways. I mean, if I don't get a job, yeah, sure, I don't get a job. But I'm going to do my darndest best in that interview. And came by interview day. Now, yeah, the day did not start well because I was a bit late to the interview due to the unavailability of parking spots in that area of the interview place. But they were very nice about it. They were very understanding about the situation. They're like, no, you're actually quite early. You're on time. Good job. They're very nice people. So my nervous level dropped down fast, and I sensed like, oh, they're very nice people. I can be nice as well. So then the interview began. I was the only candidate. So then the interview started, and we had some conversations. We had conversations about, for your context, I have sales experience before this. Okay, so they were asking, what is my sales experience like? What is my greatest sales? What is my worst? And what do I learn from it? And a part of me suddenly felt a click, like that, a click to tell my story. It's been a while since I've be able to talk to people, And I don't know why. Somehow my mind decided, you know what? Tell your story, but in a constructed way, in a good storytelling way, of course. And I did. Um, I spent half an hour going through like the stories to them from point A to point B, and they were very captivated. They were very captivated. Now, I'm not saying this just because I want to praise myself, but because I know they are captivated by it, because they kept asking me questions. They want to know more about it, etc. and etc. And they were very happy about it. That's part one of the interview. Now let's go to part two. Part two is where the sales pitch has to happen. So what they do to me is that they give me a script about the company, and they give me 5 minutes, and then they would ask me to pitch the company to them, and they will throw in some objections as well, just to give it a bit of a challenge. So here I am, a bit nervous, because 5 minutes for me is not enough. I would always take my time in terms of thinking strategies of how to speak, how to pitch, etc. But and my mind was running a lot that time when I read the script, because I have this thought of like, what if I'm not able to understand the context, or what if I present or pitch wrongly? And then another moment hit me. I don't know why. This maybe the Ikigai thing really helped, and then it just slapped me in my mind and saying that, you know what, take your time to read and understand as much as you can. Just be you. Do not hard sell. Just be you. Okay? And immediately my mind went to calmness after that. And after that 5 minute when is over, I begin to pitch, and I don't know why, my nervousness was suddenly all gone. I suddenly feel like, you know what, I'm in the zone, and I pitch somehow very flowfully and smoothly, and there were some hiccups, but it's not that terrible. It's actually quite normal to have hiccups during presentations, and I was so in the zone. A part of me felt so happy, because I never felt this kind of happiness, because I never talk that much in my current job, because my current job does not let me talk to people a lot. But in this interview, I feel so smooth. I feel so free that I was presenting quite well. And at the end of the interview, they were actually quite happy with it. They were very impressed on how I was pitching for the company. And they said that you're very good. We like your passion, we like your energy, and you know what, I think we have a high probability that we're gonna offer you the job. And nothing makes me happier, and nothing makes me happier than to listen to what they said about offering me a job. Not because they were offering me a job because they acknowledge my skills. They acknowledge that my skills can be really useful to them, and they have found the right guy. And I was quite happy. I was very, very happy. I drove back smiling, because I nailed it. I was worried the whole day about it, but I think it is what it is. And I was quite happy. I was very happy with it, very satisfied. And lo and behold, a few days later, I get a job offer from them, and I'm quite happy. A part of me still feels a bit nervous, because the thought of, what if I cannot do it? Yeah, see the what if question again. So what if I cannot do it? What if my choice is wrong this time? But like I said just now earlier in the podcast, it's okay to imagine it, but don't dwell on it. Instead, think about what can you do with the opportunity that you have now. So my mind was like, you know what? Just take it. Okay, you have the skills for it. Use it and get some money. Get that money to fix the car. Okay, and yeah, I did. I accepted the job offer. I'll be starting soon on September. So I'll be taking a month break from work, technically resigning from my work, and take a month break, to fix myself, to get ready for that new job environment. Yeah. And what's the lesson learned here? Well, I learned that sometimes you may think I would say that Ikigai is a very nice thing to do when you feel that you're lost in life. Yeah, because honestly, during that time, I was lost in life because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what is my public speaking skills can do. I don't know what my communication skills can make me get money out of. And you know, um, and after doing the Ikigai thing, I felt more clearer on what do I want to do in my life. What do I want to pursue? How do I want to live my life? Yeah, so I would say that's a lesson learned. I would say, like, you may feel lost sometimes, but I mean, if you feel lost and you need some guidance, doing Ikigai would be a good choice. I would say it's not like 100% foolproof plan, but it will at least help. It will at least help you out with 80 to 90% out of it. So for those people who hear that feel lost, don't know what to do with their lives, maybe the current job that you're working at is not satisfying to you, you feel empty, Google for Ikigai, search YouTube videos for Ikigai. I hope that maybe that thing will help you out. It may not, but what if it did? Yeah, so those are the two interesting things that I learned this month of July 2023. Yes, so I think that's it. It's 12:23 now. I should sleep soon because I still have a week of work. I still have to attend work for one more week before officially resigning. You know what? I feel good doing this kind of thing. I mean, some people may not be able to hear it, but I would just like to record this for my own, and maybe if anybody out there is listening, maybe they will get inspired from it. Yeah, but yeah. So I think I will stop the podcast / journaling here. So to everyone that listened through the whole podcast, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I hope that it helps you out. And please do tell me what can I do to improve this podcast / journaling in the future for future ones. Since this is my first one, I will acknowledge that it's not perfect. My mind is a bit all over the place on how to do proper storytelling, but I hope by doing this, I will learn on improving myself in terms of storytelling to people, and at the same time as well keep myself checked in, physically and mentally wise. Because people said that if you do this journaling thing, your mind will be at ease. Because at the same time as well, you can see your progress through life. So since this is the first podcast / journaling, I would forgive myself for the mistakes that I made in this podcast. But if you have any tips on how to improve this podcast, or if you would like to listen to more stories about my life, please do comment below. I'll be more than happy to read about it. Yeah. So as I said just now, I will be doing this once a month, usually at the end of the month, to kind of recap what has happened during the month, etc. And I'll try my best to make this a monthly regular thing, because one thing about me is that my consistency is not that good, and I think that by doing this, doing content creation, I would like to improve my consistency on that part. I would like to improve my consistency on that part. So hoping this is the start of something new for me to discover myself, but at the same time myself, for others to discover themselves as well. Maybe get some life lessons that even I don't know about from this podcast. Yes. So yes, I think that's it then. Thank you, July. You have been nice to me. I hope that the month of August will be another whole great journey for me, and for me, I would say. Yes, I hope that August will be a good month for my journey as well. So with that, I would say Primary Iced Tea, signing out. Good night, and see you next month. Okay, good night, everyone.